Hello Scramblers, it's Sarah here. It's another Tuesday and it's another time for a Scramblers video. We hope you're well, hope you're enjoying the sunshine. Now, as before, I've got my little friend here called Fred, and those of you who have met Fred before know that he's a very sleepy monkey, and so we need to wake him up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and you're going to shout, "Wake up, Fred," and we'll see if we can't wake him up. And I think if you shout and I shout, then hopefully we'll get to wake him up. Are you ready? After 3, 1, 2, 3. Wake up, Fred! No, I can see his fur, but nothing's moving. So do you think you can shout again? Are you ready? After 3, 1, 2, 3. Wake up, Fred! Come on, Fred. Are you awake? Oh, the fur is now moving. I think he's coming awake. That is a good thing. Here he comes. Lovely Fred is coming awake. Here he is. Oh, he's speaking and saying hello to everybody. Oh, you're pleased to be awake so you can be with the Scramblers on the video. Yeah, you love doing these videos, don't you, Fred? Yeah, I think people like seeing you too, so that's good. We've got a quiz for us today, a game. A really fun game. And you think it'd be fun to have some friends to play. Well, maybe the boys and girls can play with us. Do you think that's a good idea? Is there anybody else? Huh? Well, actually, Fred, I tell you what, there is somebody else, because we've got friends called Alan and Val come to play. You're really excited to see Alan and Val. Well, let's say hello to Alan and Val. Hello, Alan.
Hello, children.
Hello, Val.
Lovely to see you.
Oh, isn't that nice? You're right. Yeah, we've missed seeing Alan and Val because they used to come with us, didn't we, to Scramblers when we were at Binscombe Church. But it's really nice to see them, isn't it? I agree. Right. You'd like them to help play the game? Excellent. So tell me the game. Okay. Oh, okay. So Alan and Val, boys and girls, Fred has done a little quiz for us. And what he's done is he's hidden how many? He's hidden 5 fish in my kitchen. And what you have to do, boys and girls and Alan and Val, is to see if you can find the fish. Is that right? Very good. Okay. Okay, you're going to go back in your bag and watch from your bag and see how well they do. Brilliant. Well, why don't you say goodbye to everyone for now? Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. There we are. Well done, Fred. You just, if I put you in there, then you can watch as everybody plays. I think that's a good idea, don't you? Excellent. Right. So, Alan and Val, you can play. Boys and girls, you can play. Can you see any fish in my kitchen that Fred has hidden? Can you see any colours of any fish? Can you see any fish that are swimming around in my kitchen? What about Alan and Val? Can you see any?
Oh, I can see a blue one in your fruit bowl, I think it might be.
Oh, this one here?
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Well spotted, Val. Let's go and get that one. Brilliant. So we found a blue one. Excellent. Can you see any others? Can you see any others?
I can see a green fish, and it's on your counter.
Just one here?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Alan. Right, we've got a lovely green fish swimming in. Any others that you can see?
I can see a red one next to your plant.
Oh, yes. Well spotted, this one. That's a beautiful red one, isn't it? Great stuff. So that's one's coming swimming in. Any others you can see?
I can just see a purple one, and it's on the counter there.
This one here?
Just to see it, but it's there.
Oh yeah, it's a slightly more hidden one because it's a bit paler. There we are. But that's only 4 fish. Can you see any others? Can you see any others?
What about your chair? What you sit on? There's a white, yes, that one, a yellow one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Have I been sitting on a fish all this time? Oh dear me. Oh, thank you. So that is 5, isn't it? We've got all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fish. I think that's what Fred said there would be. Brilliant. Thank you, Alan and Val, for playing along. And boys and girls, did you spot all of those? Maybe you did. Well done if you did. Now, in our Bible story today, we are going to hear a story about a man called Jonah. And there is also a big fish in our story. But neither the big fish nor Jonah are the main important people in this story. Because although Jonah loved God, he wasn't perfect. But God, as always, is the hero of our story. And we're going to learn about what God is like in our story. And brilliantly today, Val is going to do our Bible story for us. Thank you very much for doing that, Val. We're going to say goodbye to Alan at this point. Bye-bye, Alan. Lovely to see you.
Bye-bye. Lovely to see everybody. Bye-bye.
Great. Thanks, Alan. Right, Val, thank you for reading our story. Can you show us where it's from? And then I will show some pictures that will help us as we have our story together.
So today we have a story about Jonah and the very big fish, which has very kindly been given to us, written by Tim Thornborough and illustrated by Jennifer Davison. Right, Jonah was grumpy. He snarled and he growled, he grumbled, he snorted, all because God had told him to go to Nineveh. The people of Nineveh were not just bad, they were nasty, horrible, wicked, and cruel. They didn't care about other people and they didn't care about God, but God cared about them. So he told Jonah to go and give them a message. But grumpy Jonah didn't want to go. He said to himself, "Those people are horrible, terrible, abominable, unforgivable. They don't deserve to be punished." Oh, they deserve to be punished, sorry. As Jonah slept, God sent a huge howling hurricane. The sailors were horrified, terrified, petrified, jellified. So they woke Jonah up. "It's all my fault," said grumpy Jonah. "You'd better throw me into the sea." The sailors didn't want Jonah to drown, but they did as they were told. They hurled Jonah into the raging sea, and the sea was suddenly calm, quiet, still, peaceful. The sailors were saved, and they said thank you to God. But God had not finished with grumpy Jonah yet. Gulp, chomp, nom nom, burp. God sent a very big fish that swallowed him whole. Jonah sat for 3 whole days in the belly of the fish. He realized how wrong he had been. He said, "I've been witless, brainless, mindless, senseless. It's up to God who he saved, not me." God heard his prayer and spoke to the fish. "Awk, gack, hiccup, blab," and the fish spat him out on dry land. Jonah went to the great city of Nineveh and delivered God's message. "God has seen how evil you are, and in just 40 days you will be destroyed." And the people of Nineveh listened. They were sad, sorry, repentant, regretful. The king and all the people said, "Let's stop being nasty, horrible, wicked, and cruel. Let's start trying to please God, love God, pray to God, and be kind to each other. And let's hope that God has mercy on us." And God loved them and forgave them, showed mercy to them and welcomed them. But what did Jonah think? Jonah was angry with God, so he grumbled, he pouted, he sulked, and he grumped. "I knew you would forgive them," he said. "You are a kind and loving God. You're always ready to forgive people who turn back to you, however bad they've been." God said, "You're right, Jonah. I am kind, I am loving, and I will forgive anyone who turns to me, even very grumpy people like you." Now we're going to pray. So we just put our hands together and thank God that he is a kind God and he is a loving God and he will forgive anyone who turns to him. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Val, for doing our story for us today. It's good to hear about how God is loving and kind and will forgive anyone who comes to him. Well, it is good to remember that story. And our craft today, I would love it if you were able to make a little fish like this. But it's not just any old fish, because when you open the fish's mouth, you can see that inside there is a Jonah. Now, I wonder, Val made some wonderful sound effects when she was telling our story. I wonder if you make one of these little Jonah fishes and you have Jonah inside, you can make your own sound effects as perhaps the fish swallows Jonah and then spits him out again. I'm going to send your grown-ups instructions on how to do this, and the link will be at the bottom of the link to this video as well. I'm also going to send you the song that we've been learning, all about different people in the Old Testament that remind us that God is always faithful and always keeps his promises. And so you can enjoy doing that. And if you've learned the actions, do tell me, because I'd love to know if you've been doing the actions as well, because it's a fun song to dance along to. For the meantime, we're going to say goodbye. Bye-bye, Val. Thank you for joining us.
Bye. Lovely to see you all.
And lovely to see you, Scramblers. And we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.